Hello, everyone. Welcome to Arizona's inaugural 4th Trimester Ecosystem Summit. We are so glad that you're able to be with us today. We have an enormous audience today, and it's so exciting, but it also means that we want to be extra respectful of everyone's time. So in order to kind of streamline things, we want to ask that you look over the Whova and Zoom etiquette guidelines. Those are found in announcements. Those are also found in our home base, our welcome booth. So you should see that in the exhibitor booth. All right, so we want to make everyone aware of our instructions for Spanish interpretation for the summit today. First off, in the taskbar at the bottom of your screen, you're going to click interpretation. This is the little world icon, and then you're going to select your preferred language. And just a note here that you have to join with your computer audio. You cannot listen to language interpretation if you use the dial in or call me phone audio features. We will be pasting these instructions in the chat periodically throughout each session. And if you have any issues with interpretation at any point, please send a direct message to Tech in the chat. We want to start off our day today with a welcome blessing from Jacqueline Badine. Jacqueline is a Dene woman from the Fort Nelson First Nation community in Northeast British Columbia, Canada. She's a wife and mama of 3. She graduated from ASU with a BS in dietetics, and she's also a registered dietitian nutritionist. She's an Indigenous full spectrum doula and Indigenous breastfeeding counselor. She aims to educate, advocate, and empower the families she works with, and currently serves families in the greater Phoenix area. She's a chai vanilla bean frappuccino lover and proud member of the 4th Trimester West Valley Village. Thank you so much, Jacqueline.
You're welcome. Thank you, Ms. Clay. I just want to greet you guys all with a good feeling this morning. Good morning to any elders, to any young ones here today, and everybody in between. To our presenters, our exhibitors, our sponsors, and thank you, a big village hug to the 4th Trimester Ecosystem Summit organizers for this opportunity. So I just want to begin by acknowledging that myself, my family, and a great majority of us are visitors here to these desert lands. I'm speaking with you from my home here in what's called Avondale, where we reside on occupied O'odham territory. I want to continue to recognize and give thanks to the O'odham people for their longstanding presence here and stewardship of the lands and waters, plants, animals, but I also have the privilege to call my home. So again, my name is Jacqueline Badine. My pronouns are she and her. I am Dene from the Northeast British Columbia region. My community is Fort Nelson First Nation from a place called Fort Nelson, Canada. My family roots, they come from up and down the rivers in that territory. Again, I'm a full spectrum Indigenous doula. I'm an Indigenous breastfeeding counselor, registered dietitian, and an ASU alum. I'm a wife to Jose Noriega, a mom to my 3 children, Atlanesi, Sehekat, and Tlailitzli. And in there's 2 dogs, a couple of chickens, and a rabbit. So it makes up my family. I've been asked to do a blessing for today, and I understand that we come from many different backgrounds. So please feel free to pray or give thanks in a way that's most comfortable to you, and I'll do the same. Great. Creator, grandmothers, grandfathers, spirits, and ancestors of this land, both seen and unseen, thank you for another beautiful day of life. We humbly come to you today seeking permission and guidance to begin this learning journey. May we sit with an open mind and heart as we discuss these various topics today and the impressions and impacts that this pandemic has had on each and every one of our lives. May anyone here today who has lost a loved one during this time be comforted. And may we ask that we continue to bless our homes and our loved ones. May we rejoice and enjoy each other's company today and walk away with a deeper understanding for one another. May all our days continue to be filled with good health and happiness. May you continue to bless our efforts and the efforts of the 4th Trimester family and all they do to ensure that Arizona families feel supported and safe. Creator, if I've said too much or didn't say enough, I leave it in your capable hands. And with that, I give thanks for today and give thanks for my life. Ka Masin. Thank you everyone for your time and patience for that. I look forward to learning with you all today. And with that, I'll pass it back to you.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline. That was amazing. Jennie will next acknowledge and honor the native land on which we stand. And don't worry, I will be introducing her in just a bit.
Thanks so much, Sarah, and thank you, Jacqueline, for that beautiful blessing. As we start our work this morning, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the traditional lands and unceded territory of the A'adem people on which I am standing today, as well as past and present Indigenous caretakers of these lands and the 22 sovereign nations that share geography with Arizona. These are the Akchin Indian community, the Cocopa Indian tribe, the Colorado Indian tribe, the Fort McDowell Yavapai Nation, the Fort Mojave Indian tribe, the Fort Yuma Quetzalcoatl tribe, the Gila River Indian community, the Havasupai tribe, the Hopi tribe, the Hualapai tribe, the Kaibab Paiute tribe, the Navajo Nation, the Pasquayaqui tribe, the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community, the San Carlos Apache tribe, the San Juan Southern Paiute tribe, the Tonto Apache tribe, the White Mountain Apache tribe, the Yavapai Apache Nation, the Yavapai Prescott tribe, and the Pueblos of Zuni. I want to pay my respects to the elders of these nations. It's important to me that we, as a fourth trimester ecosystem, acknowledge the Indigenous caretakers of these lands for three main reasons. The first is that Indigenous peoples are our neighbors, our friends, and our community members. And Indigenous nations share geography with 40% of Arizona, including the Navajo and Tohono O'odham nations, which are the first and second largest sovereign nations in the United States. The second reason is that access to ancestral knowledge about birth and parenting is a right, and it is one that Indigenous people have not been afforded for generations through genocide and forced removal of their children. So as I acknowledge the sovereignty of these lands and nations, I also want to acknowledge the right of Indigenous people to sovereignty over their bodies, their births, and their children. Third, I want to uplift the work taking place via organizations such as the Siwa Patli Collective and Indigenous Breastfeeding Counselor to honor, cultivate, and bring ancestral knowledge to the Indigenous birthing people. I'm so grateful for the examples they set for our communities and the bridges of collaboration that they have made to support our fourth trimester ecosystem summit today. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennie. And we encourage you, if you're joining us from somewhere other than Arizona, find out on which native land you reside. We have one more practice that is important, and we always like to include before we dive into our events. We want to acknowledge, especially today, that we'll be engaging in many hard yet very necessary conversations. And while it would be absolutely amazing, it's also important to ground ourselves and to take some deep breaths before we start. This time will provide us all a chance to receive the wealth of information and ideas that are in store for us today. So it is my pleasure to introduce to you Desiree Gonzales to guide us in a moment of meditation. Desiree Gonzales is an Afro-Latina yoga instructor, doula, and intuitive coach. She has over a decade of experience working within the nonprofit sector, women's advocacy, and alternative medicine. She currently works with the Dunbar Pavilion in Tucson, Arizona, as the program manager for their holistic health and wellness program. Desiree is passionate about cultivating inclusive spaces that center self-preservation and dreaming up a world in which every person has access to what they need to thrive. Thank you, Desiree.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. All right, so let's just bring ourselves into the room and get into our bodies and just prepare to be open and receptive today to stay with our bodies as we move through this experience of listening and sharing. So I invite you to, if it feels comfortable, get into a comfortable seat. You can also lie down, turn your camera off. You can stand if that feels better. And just allow me to guide you through some grounding. So first off, if you're in a place where you can place your feet directly on the ground, that would be even better. Take a moment to look around your room and just notice where you are in time and space. See if your eyes can rest on 4 things in your space. And then take a moment to look above Look down at your feet or the ground. And then turn over to the right. Look all the way behind you over your shoulder to the right. And then look over to your left. And then come back to center and take a moment to close your eyes or soften your gaze. And begin to feel your body connected to the surface beneath you. So whether that's a chair or the ground, just notice what is currently supporting your body. And just start to take a few deep breaths. Start by exhaling all of your air out. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And then exhale, open mouth. As you do this, notice your shoulders softening, jaw releasing. Do this 2 more times. Inhale. And then exhale, open mouth. 1 more time, deep breath in. And exhale. And then start to imagine that you're floating in space. And below you, planet Earth is moving slowly. And just imagine that you're slowly descending into planet Earth, kind of like a GPS. So with each breath, start to see yourself slowly descending into the country that fills your field of vision. And just feel yourself keep descending until you're looking down at your city, your town. Maybe you notice a mountain or valley, some kind of landmark. If you were here in the desert, maybe you notice some cactus. And just begin to continue your descent until you're looking down at the top of the building you're in. If you're seated outdoors, begin to descend far enough so that you can see your own body below you, as if you're viewing it from a helicopter. And just keep dropping slowly and steadily until you can see your body in detail, just a few feet above yourself. Begin to observe your body's posture or any movements that it's making. Any clothing, specific color of clothing you're wearing. And then just begin to slowly, smoothly descend the rest of your way. Just take a seat inside your body. Feel yourself landing in your skin. Take note of your feet, your toes. Take note of your spine, your shoulders. And then just notice the space between your eyebrows. Allow that space to soften. Notice your temples and jaw softening. And take a new, fresh, deep breath, fully present in your body. And just begin to set your intention for your time here today. Notice what opening feels like in your body. What would it feel like to be open, to be receptive, and to give yourself grace as you share, listen, and learn and take in new information. I'm going to take 1 more deep breath in, and full breath out through the mouth. Gently begin to bring movement into your fingers, toes. Maybe not looking directly into the camera right away, but just take in your space, look around you. Maybe blink your eyes a few times if your eyes were closed. And then gently come back to this space, and I invite you to turn on your camera if that feels comfortable. And I'll pass it over to Jennie. Thank you.